Hello, sports fans. This is the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker, your source for the sports betting industry 24/7. Sit back, relax, and listen as Mr. Bookmaker highlights what's happening right now in the world of sports. So, without further ado, here's your host, Art Eftekhari.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Art Eftekhari. Glad you can join us. Before we get started, get to our website. You know the address, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. We got the links to all the best European, Asian, and United States-friendly bookmaker sites. And our bookmaker guide is available for you to download, so hurry up and download it as soon as you can. Also, before we get started, check out our blogs that are available from our website. Dan knows his cricket, Patrick knows his American sports. The bottom line is they're working hard, so please show them some support. Also, make sure you check out the Mr. Bookmaker football blog or soccer, depending on where you are in the world. Now, first with some A to Z sports betting lingo, what's our word for today? It is press. Now, what does it mean to press? That is wagering a larger amount than usual. So those of you who are big on the National Football League, I'm sure you are ready to press some wagers, so don't forget, press. And as I just mentioned, the National Football League, well, of course, you all know, Week 1 of the National Football League was just completed. Some good games, some exciting scores, and of course, as always, with opening week in the National Football League, always some surprises as well. Well, of course, if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills, well, sorry, not really much of a surprise, just same old thing year after year. I mean, the Bills destroyed 47-3 by the Baltimore Ravens. Ouch. All right, but with that, not here to read off all the scores, but let's get to a certain bookie website, and that is 888sport.com. That's www.888sport.com. Now, forgive me if I'm kind of slow on saying that. I feel like sometimes I might say too many eights or too few eights. But anyways, let's get right to it. So I'm taking a look at the general team markets for the National Football League. Now, any team to have a 16-0 record, do you think that's going to be done? If so, the odds for that, 22-1. What about any team to have a 19-0 record? If you think yes, the odds for that, 50-1. And what about this? Do you think there will be another team this season to have an 0-16 record? If you think so, if you believe that yes, that'll happen, the odds for that, 25-1. Now, let me be quick to say, one of those teams will not be the Cleveland Browns because they started off the season with a 21-21 tie against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, can you believe it? A tie already. First week of this 2018 National Football League season, all right? And, I've been spending a lot of time all over the internet trying to search other kinds of articles or other kinds of blogs, but I know what some of the NFL haters are saying out there. And when I say the NFL haters, I mean the ones who do not like the NFL, but really like college football. And I know what they're saying. They're saying things like, okay, see, there you go, a tie. That's so terrible. It's so terrible, right? Yet college football doesn't have ties. Okay, now you're probably thinking, do I think NFL overtime needs to become like college football overtime? No way. Okay, if I could get a message out to the powers that be of the National Football League, my message would be stop ruining the game. When I was growing up on the NFL, do you know what overtime was like back then? It was sudden death. 15 minutes long, the first team to score would win. There wasn't any of this, oh wait, we should come up with some kind of rule where if a team scores a field goal first, the other team should get the ball. No, you know what? It was sudden death. And that brought so much suspense to it. Now you got, if a team doesn't score a touchdown first, the other team gets the ball. Okay, fine. I guess I'm kind of okay with that. But then, recently, over a year ago, they changed overtime to 10 minutes long. I mean, come on, the NFL is getting ruined. This needs to stop. Plain and simple. Okay, a 10-minute overtime? Oh, because these players, there's so many hits going on during the game and this and that. Okay, it's football. Deal with it. So like I said, a 21-21 tie, And I just want to point out, 10-minute overtime, even more of a chance that we'll see more ties in the National Football League. But whatever, if they want to keep on watering down the game, that's their choice. Now, no more my ranting. Before we get to our break, want to go through each of the 4 NFC divisions and share which teams are favorite to take those divisions. I'm still on 888sport.com. Let's start with the NFC North. The Vikings are now 11-10, and you got the Packers 27-20. Lions and Bears, well, they are the Lions and the Bears. Now with the Vikings, I think this will be a good battle throughout the season between the Vikings and the Packers. Of course, some people are going to say it's the Packers because they got Aaron Rodgers, but with the Vikings, they got a good defense, and let's see what they do with Kirk Cousins. NFC East, Eagles favored 1-2. Not surprised about that, but definitely expect the Cowboys with 5-1 odds to give the Eagles a run for their money. In the NFC West, the Rams 3-10. Yes, they definitely are the favorites to take the NFC West, but don't count out the San Francisco 49ers with 7-2 odds. Some people will say the Seahawks have an outside chance as well with 8-1 odds. The Cardinals, well, 25-1, enough said. And the NFC South, Falcons 11-5, Panthers 12-5, also the Saints 12-5, and even the Buccaneers 15-4. And it's kind of I've seen some other bookies that were sharing their odds, and some bookies are still favoring the Saints to win that division. And I know what you're thinking, come on, the Saints, they let the Buccaneers drop 48 points on them at home opening game of the season. Yes, it's only week 1, but I feel like if the Saints' defense is going to be that bad, sorry, I cannot really see them taking the NFC South. But you never know, it could just be a toss-up among these 4 teams. All right, so that's it for the NFL for this edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. Like I said, get to 888sport.com. And before we continue, make sure you get to our website as soon as you can. The address, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. We have tips on how to register, bet, and withdraw. And our Bookmaker Guide is available for you to download. And we got our A to Z sports betting lingo. We want you to sound like an expert before you become an expert at the entire online betting process. All right, now time for me to pay another visit to one of my favorite online bookies, Paddy Power. That's www.paddypower.com. And I'm in the mood for some of these novelty bets, in particular, the current affairs. So let's take a look at who is favored to win the Nobel Peace Prize for 2018, obviously. The odds here are even for a combination one. Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, and Moon Jae-in of South Korea. All right, so this looks pretty cool. Moon Jae-in of South Korea. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in met at the DMZ, the demilitarized zone that separates North and South Korea. What a moment that was. What about Donald Trump solo, 4-1 odds? Maybe Dr. Abiy Ahmed, 8-1. Angela Merkel, 16-1. Vladimir Putin listed here, 50-1. Edward Snowden, 66-1. And don't forget, of course, about Pope Francis with 50-1 odds. What about the Pope specials? What will be the papal name of the next Pope after Francis I? Will it be Francis? If you think Francis or Leo, 10-3 odds. 4-1 odds for Pius, John, or Peter. 15-2 for Gregory or Benedict. If you scroll all the way down, 66-1 for Sylvester, Victor, or Sixtus, or even Damien, Leonard, and Valentine. But what about 500-1 for Paddy Power? What a name for the Pope that would be. And as for what about the next Pope after Francis I? Will it be Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana, 3-1 odds? Maybe Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, 4-1 odds from the Philippines? Or maybe Cardinal Mark Ole, if I'm saying his name correctly, of Canada, 6-1 odds. Plenty of names here. If you go all the way down, what about Bono? 500-1 odds. Yeah. Unbelievable. So like I said, get to Paddy Power as soon as you can. That's www.paddypower.com. And that is it, everybody, for this edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. Really do appreciate the support. Like I said before, get to our website as soon as you can, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. Our Bookmaker Guide is available for you to download. So stop wasting your time. Download it as soon as you can. And make sure you tune in for the next edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. We'll see you next time.
This has been the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please show some love by subscribing to this podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. Till next time, this is Mr. Bookmaker over and out.